We're Run the Jewel. I'm LP, and this is my better half, Killer Mike. I wanted to bring you here because this is where I spent the majority of the time when I was supposed to be in school. We weren't into like organized sports or anything. It's not like Atlanta where everyone's being trained to be a football star. But really it was just an excuse to kind of find a space where we could hang out and be on our own and kind of just separate from the maniacal authority. We weren't great students.
I was a kid that lived, in the southern states below, listening to the music that was coming out of. He grew up, luckily, in the mecca of the music that the world fell in love with.
It bonded us, you know.
Yeah,
for me, it's obviously been very important. I grew up here, and I was here in the era where you couldn't escape hip-hop. Taking the train, it was covered in beautiful art, and walking in the streets, people had boomboxes. Having a connection to the way that the city felt and looked during the time when that music was being made, it was very different. This whole area here was definitely like prime delinquency area.
I see.
The city lends itself to wanting to roam. Now we can do it in a car, but back then it was just on a skateboard, you know? There's a big difference from when we were growing up. You couldn't just find a whip that you could just jump into in the middle of the street.
Coolest thing about driving around New York with you is for you to show me like the different boroughs that the rappers I like are from, like where Biggie grew up, being out in Queens.
St. James Place.
Yeah, exactly. Being out in Queens, where I know Run DMC's from.
I grew up on the Def Jam era, as
Word.
you did. So the first crew that I ended up hanging out with and starting to cut demos with or whatever was in Hollis, Queens. As a kid who grew up just mostly in downtown Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn, Queens was like another planet for me, you know what I mean? And not only was it Queens, but it was Farmers Boulevard, you know? So it was right where all of those records were coming from. And
it's like holy ground.
at a certain point, our influences matched up very directly, and they were both New York. You took those influences and created something completely your own. So you come back to me with your version of how you grew up. Literally every record that we do is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Because I never know what the hell you're gonna say. When we first started, we were the collaboration. And now we as an entity can collaborate with other people, and I like that. I think that signifies us coming together as a group. Now people bring us into their world. I like that because it shakes things up. Driving around New York City, I can point out 1,000 ways that it's not the same New York City that when I was a kid, but I'm not one of these people that gets freaked out by the change as much as I'd like to remind myself of what it is, what it was. And, all of this was, it was just so different, man. I can still see it.
So what's up with this neighborhood?
This is Manhattan Avenue.
Gotcha.
This is exactly where Williamsburg and Greenpoint meet. That's where I'm taking you to Frankel's, which is right on the corner. You're getting a treat, my friend.
So we try to get like a little bit of the lean, a little bit of the fatty stuff all.
Amazing. It's like me and Eldon, a little lean, a little fat. Watch how beautiful this is.
Yeah.
Bang. This is worth the ride to Brooklyn. That's the best restaurant I've ever had in my life. As a kid who's not from New York, but just grew up on New York and hip hop, this is what I heard about in raps. Riding around with you today, seeing the handball courts coming across the bridge, like I feel like I've seen in New York from your growth, you know what I'm saying?